My fellow gamers, I have finally finished The Last of Us 2. This will be my official review of the game, and I have strived as best as I can to maintain some sense of objectivity for this game. That being said, here it comes, like it or not.
I can't quite contain or explain my evil ways, or explain why I'm not sane. All I can say is
Moving right along, folks, the three main sections I will be covering for this review. 1, gameplay, graphics. 2, characters. And lastly, story and the elements comprised to make this story. Now, a quick heads up, my fellow gamers. I have been consuming some alcohol, specifically rum. And I'm not going to be gentle about the spoilers and what I didn't like about this game. So, if you don't care for the opinionated, drunken ramblings of a mostly white, straight male in today's society, well, now's the time to either, change the fucking channel or put on your big boy or big girl pants and fucking saddle up, because this is not going to be a gentle ride, mofos. Moving right along. The gameplay is downright sick. It was amazing, smooth, highly enjoyable. The majority of the time, I felt like I was playing like a female Rambo, just totally kicking ass and taking names, and it was better than the last couple of Rambo movies. So I was, gameplay-wise, enthralled. And that's all that need to be said. No improvements necessary for the gameplay. Good job, programmers. Moving right along to characters. Starting off, we have Ellie. My little Ellie. How far we've come since The Last of Us 1. Next on deck, we have Abby, our other protagonist, who doesn't necessarily come out of the blue, but does come from the choices made from Joel at the end of the first The Last of Us. And she's grows on you, I guess. But for the record, she's just a really butch chick. She's not like a chick with a dick or anything. Moving right along. Last but least, we have Joel, who is still technically in the game. He just isn't alive for the most part of it. And that'll bring us right into the story coming up next. Now get ready, because this is where the shit hits the fan. Now, if you've played the previous The Last of Us, you probably loved the story as much as I did. The character dynamic, the human characteristic of being to overcome the overwhelmingly impossible odds of the apocalypse brought on by a zombie-like crazy virus that's destroyed pretty much most of the world. Now, at the end of the first game, Joel is stuck making the executive decision about whether or not Abby should live, or fucking Christ, I gotta stop drinking. Ellie should live or die. Ellie being the only person encountered thus far in the game that is immune to the virus. And at the end, it is determined that she can provide a vaccine, but she won't live through the surgical procedure. Joel says, fuck that shit, ends up killing the doctor getting ready to do surgery, and ultimately saves Ellie's life because, hey, he just traveled across the whole fucking country with her, protecting her ass. You might as well keep her alive, right? Well, clearly not everyone agreed with Joel's decision. Enter Abby. Abby's character comes along in the sequel, Abby being the daughter of the surgeon who is getting ready to perform on Ellie. Abby's view, as well as her father's view, was Ellie had an obligation to die for humanity and provide a vaccine for everybody. I do get the noble sentiment attached with that notion. Sure. One person for the rest of humanity eradicating the virus has caused the apocalypse. Yeah. There is logic behind that. Questioned by one of his subordinates, the question being, what if it was your daughter? Blah, blah, blah. Is it ethical to deny Ellie her choice of whether or not she should make her own sacrifice? And the doctor's not ready to give her a choice. It's just save the rest of the world. Abby chimes in, Yes, if it was me, I would totally sacrifice myself for humanity. Well, that's all well and good and easy to say when you're not the one about to fucking die, in my opinion. So Joel, being Joel, says, no, and saves Ellie. Since Abby's dad is killed in this rescue mission, Abby takes it upon herself to be stuck with this undying mission for revenge against Joel. And quickly, in the beginning of this game, Joel meets his demise at the hands of a very pissed off Abby. This, in turn, starts this repeated cycle of revenge. Ellie happens upon this action of revenge and is left to live by Abby. And once she's recovered at home, Ellie decides she's out for blood and she's going to track down Abby and hand her ass. I will say it was definitely called for. So Ellie begins on her epic journey, tracking down Abby, which the gameplay aspect was enjoyable. Absolutely enjoyable. Stealth killing as Ellie is enjoyable. I don't care what anybody says. So long story short, Ellie ends up pretty much eliminating most of Abby's squad and eventually catches up with Abby or vice versa. It's actually Abby who catches up with Ellie, and then cliffhanger, enter Abby's gameplay story for the next seemingly endless amount of hours. So here we're privy to Abby's point of view, pre-Joel killing her father and post. Now then, once everything was said and done, I did have an understanding of Abby's point of view. I did. Did I particularly give a shit? In some aspects, it's hard not to have some compassion for, but at the same time, I started this story based off of Ellie and Joel being the supreme guardian of Ellie. I was attached to Joel, and I supported Joel's decision to save Ellie because, hey, the world was kind of already fucked up anyway. I don't know what, like this point, like who you're really going to save, what are you going to save? The remnants of, I mean, I get the logic, but hey, I like Joel's decision. Joel saved Ellie, and I backed that decision. So it really, really made it difficult to be in Abby's corner, because I didn't want to be in Abby's corner. All things considered, though, Abby did have objectivity. She was organized and worked professional. There's kind of like a paramilitary thing going on. And she was focused. So she had clear goals, and the more her point of view unfolded, the more I tolerated her. It wasn't a less of a hatred. It wasn't a less of, it was like, all right, I paid my $60 and I get to a degree where she's coming from, but I still kind of hope she meets her end at the ends of Ellie. These two ladies are finally forced into a physical confrontation, a total battle of the bitches and what goes on. And ultimately, it's kind of a suckfest where no one really wins except for, well, Abby kind of kicks her. I mean, it depends on what you fucking, I just fuck it all, man. So they end up going up their separate ways, and then Ellie decides she wants revenge again, and it's back to fucking square one where we end up in another fucking, bitch brawl on the beach where nothing really gets solved. If you're gonna make me play the game for that many hours to this conclusion, I mean, the least these fuckers could have done is killed off one of these chicks. Either Ellie gets dead or Abby gets dead. At that point, I didn't care which, because I'd grown so detached from the actual story. At the end of the first game, I felt inspired. I felt hopeful. I felt, you know what? This is a great story of two humans depending on each other, beating the odds, overcoming adversity, and maybe there's some hope for the world. And at the end of this game, I'm thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, I think I killed more people than infected zombie people. And as much as I like a revenge theme, because I'm a fan of the Count of Monte Cristo, this is just a little bit overkill. Even in the violence department, like if you're one of those bitches who was bitching about, there's too much violence in GTA 5, there's too many men beating up women in GTA 5, and you endorse this game, Anita Sarkeesian, then I question your fucking moral. I mean, it's hypocritical if nothing else.